Go for it, whatever it takes.
Just put out a fire with Violet School. Now you want to start another one?
I thought the only way forward was together.
I got an idea, but I need you to make it work.
I made a promise to him, one that I don't think I can keep.
There's something I need to tell you.
The drama that's about to explode when Michael finally learns about Willow and Drew's kiss. I mean, how much more can this guy handle? It's like they're practically drawing him a map, but somehow he's still walking blind. You can almost hear Carly and Joss sharpening their verbal knives, ready to tear Willow to shreds. And let's be honest, Willow's going to need armor for this one. Michael, though, please don't let this break him completely. We need him strong, but man, this love triangle thing has got to go. Drew, time to pack it up and move on. And speaking of Drew, can we just be done with him? Creepy Drew lurking around every corner is getting old, and the sooner the truth about him and Willow comes out, the better. It's like everyone's waiting for the big reveal, and it's gonna be messy. As for Sam, well, she's alive, surprise, surprise, and not exactly dying in that dramatic diving accident after all. So, no more mystery about Blackstone Canyon. She's still kicking, which means if she does die, it'll have to be in some other ridiculous way. Alexis is free, the gun's turned in, and we can leave that whole mess behind. Now, about Lulu's donor situation. Could it be some random hero who registered just for her? Maybe. Or, plot twist, Lars, yes, Heather's son, could be the one swooping in as the donor. I'm sure Elizabeth's half-brother will make things interesting. Oh, and if Heather's somehow involved, it'd definitely add a redemption arc to her story. But let's not kid ourselves. Sam seems like the more likely sacrificial lamb here. Also, I am not here for Dex and Molly. Who thought that was a good idea? It's like they're trying to force them together, and it's not working. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Finn and Sam both dying in some kind of freak accident? That's definitely a twist. If Sam ends up as Lulu's organ donor, that'd be one way to tie up her storyline, sacrificing herself so Lulu can live. I mean, it's almost poetic, especially with Dante still having all those lingering feelings for Lulu. Sam knowing she's giving Dante the ultimate gift by saving Lulu, that's some heavy stuff, but losing both Finn and Sam, yikes, that's going to send shockwaves through everyone involved. As for Brooklyn spilling that Finn is getting out of rehab, I hope that means Michael Easton's coming back. But if not, I guess we can prepare for whatever grim fate they're setting up for Finn. Still, it's hard to picture Finn without thinking of Michael Easton. Then there's Brad. Oh, when will he learn? He's been given so many chances, and yet he always defaults to blackmail and deceit. He just cannot resist shooting himself in the foot. He could have told the truth and saved his job, but nope, he chooses the most chaotic path every time. It's no wonder people are sick of him. And yeah, Portia isn't much better right now, so losing her license wouldn't shock anyone. Dante, though, acting like he's Lulu's grieving husband, it's honestly tiring. Like, dude, you cheated on her with her cousin, and then disappeared for years, leaving her to handle everything on her own. She even moved on with Dusty while Dante was off doing who knows what. Sure, he's with Sam now, but if Lulu wakes up, I hope she doesn't just fall back into his arms. She deserves way better than that kind of wishy-washy loyalty. And don't even get me started on Sonny getting away with murder again. How many times is he going to pull this off without consequence? It's getting old. At least Lucas has been a refreshing change. That talk with Ava after Carly finally left, solid moment. We need more of that energy. The Davis girls' dynamic changing. Yeah, that's rough. Seeing them together, knowing things won't be the same without Kelly is definitely bittersweet. She'll be seriously missed, and it's going to feel so different without her in the mix. Finally, Kristina admits the truth. She had no business being in Ava's room, and now she's owning up to it. But remember when people were defending her like she could do no wrong? Well, she said it herself now. It was her mistake. Out of the mouth of a babe, indeed. So to everyone who came for you when you pointed it out, well, it looks like you've been vindicated. And Lucky involved in special ops? Please, that scruffy, disheveled look might work if he's protesting on a college campus, but special operations? Come on, who are they kidding with that one? Brad, of course, is up to his usual tricks. He got the goods on Portia and came prepared, even telling her to keep her copy because he's got another. Classic Brad, always with the backup plan. Poor Portia didn't even know how to react. She's not used to getting out-schemed, but Brad's got her right where he wants her now. About Kristina, she's not the only one dealing with some emotional fallout. Molly seems like she's spiraling too, and it wouldn't be shocking if postpartum depression is at play. That could explain why she's been lashing out at Kristina, blaming her for everything that's gone wrong. It's a messy situation, and the cracks in the family are starting to show. And if the writers really want to save General Hospital, well, maybe it's time to stop dancing around it and just put Jason and Carly together already. The chemistry is undeniable, and honestly, if they were the new Luke and Laura, it'd be a wild ride. They could send them off on crazy adventures, just like the old days. What do the writers have to lose at this point? It could be exactly what the show needs to turn things around. As for that whole gun situation, Scott sending it to frame Sonny totally makes sense. He was probably trying to keep a low profile and mess with Sonny, but it backfired when Alexis got caught up in the mess. Classic Scott move, always playing the long game, though it seems like it didn't go quite as planned this time. There's something off about the pacing and the relationships lately. Jason and Anna, that felt so wrong and completely forced, like the writers were just throwing random characters together for the sake of shaking things up. Anna and Laura turning against Sonny feels equally jarring. These are characters with deep histories and relationships, and now it seems like they're just being pushed into scenarios that don't align with who they've always been. The whole Drew Willow Jordan Nana mess, it's like they threw these characters into a blender and hoped for the best. That Willow-Drew kiss came out of nowhere with zero buildup, leaving fans feeling disconnected from what could have been a good plot. And Franco, what a loss. He started as a character you love to hate, but he became so dynamic, and then just poof, gone. Finn's been sidelined in Sam. They did Kelly Monaco so dirty. Sam was always fierce and independent, and now she's reduced to nagging Dante? It feels like a betrayal of the strong, complex character we grew to love over the years. The Blaze and Kristina relationship was adorable, and then, just as quickly as it started, it fizzled out. It's disappointing to see all these interesting potential storylines get dropped or mishandled. Lucky's return was supposed to be a big deal, but instead of being the loving family man and cop we remember, he's this dark, brooding figure that doesn't feel anything like the Lucky we once knew. And don't even get me started on the recasts, Lulu and Lucas included. They bring back these beloved names, but something feels off, like the heart of the characters is missing. Everything feels so disingenuous now. Instead of building on the core of who these characters are, the show's tossing in random plotlines and recasts that don't stay true to the show's essence. And for longtime fans like you, and many others, it's hard to keep watching when it feels like you're losing the very thing that's made you loyal for so long. And it's not just the characters. Even some of the deeper storylines feel disconnected from what we know about their pasts. Molly blaming Kristina for everything feels like a page ripped right out of her father Rick's book. His history of blaming Sonny for everything wrong in his life mirrors what Molly's doing now. And poor Elizabeth, watching Lucky fall apart, worrying that he'll run off and leave her and Aiden behind. It's like the weight of history is repeating itself in such an unfair way. I can totally see why this is frustrating. GH has been a part of your life, your escape from the chaos, and when that comfort show feels like it's losing its soul, it's painful. You're not alone in feeling this way. There's a whole community of longtime fans who are seeing the same cracks and struggling with the direction the show is going. Hopefully, the people in charge take note before it's too late, because losing that authenticity could be what pushes fans away for good. Your passion shows how much this show means to you, and that's something the writers should absolutely pay attention to. You're not alone in being baffled by Curtis's reaction to Portia. Like, how is he so calm and ready to sweep her very illegal actions under the rug? But when Jordan was keeping secrets because of her job, which, by the way, was completely legal, he couldn't forgive her. It's giving some serious double standards, and it makes no sense. Curtis acted like Jordan's secrecy was the ultimate betrayal, but now with Portia, he's just cool with it. Hypocrisy much? So indeed. And Anna, she's become a whole mess. She's out here, willing to withhold evidence just to take down Sonny, while letting a known criminal she's sleeping with skate free. It's honestly infuriating. What happened to her sense of justice? It feels like she's compromised her own morals just to take down Sonny, and it's hard to watch her spiral like this. Now, as for blaming Kristina, honestly, you might be onto something. Molly's made it her new hobby to hold Kristina responsible for everything, so why not lean into it? Dex shows up out of nowhere and messes with Molly's head? Kristina's fault. If TJ and Molly's relationship falls apart, definitely Kristina's fault. Heck, if the weather ruins your day, it's probably Kristina's doing. The writers are practically setting it up that way with how much Molly is throwing her under the bus. So why not go all in on the Kristina blame game? Speaking of Dex, let's talk about how shady that guy is. He swooped in on Jocelyn while she was still with Cameron. Zero respect for their relationship. And now there's this looming tension between him and Molly. I'm with you on this one. If Dex tries to mess with Molly and TJ's relationship, fans are going to lose it. Molly and TJ have been one of the most stable couples on the show, and it feels like the writers are toying with them for no good reason. Instead of showing them grieving and supporting each other during such a difficult time, they're setting up random scenes with Molly and Dex, which is so frustrating. If they ruin Molly and TJ's relationship over Dex, it's going to feel like a cheap, forced plot. TJ, unlike Cameron, better not sit back and let it happen. He deserves to stand up for himself, and honestly, if Dex crosses the line, a good punch in the face wouldn't be uncalled for. The last thing this show needs is more unnecessary drama tearing apart the few stable couples left. Team Molly and TJ all the way. Let Dex stick with Jocelyn if that's what he wants, but keep him far away from Molly. The writers need to fix this mess before it spirals into something even more ridiculous. Fans deserve better than watching another good relationship fall apart for no reason. Some really solid points about Portia and the overall hypocrisy in Port Charles. It's wild how people are quick to throw stones at Portia for her mistakes, while conveniently forgetting that others have done far worse. Yes, Portia lied about Trina being Curtis' daughter, and yes, she tampered with the test results. She's doing it to protect her daughter. And when you think about it, isn't that what half the characters in Port Charles have been doing for years? Jordan's no saint either, and her past is full of lies and secrets too. She hid the truth about TJ not being Curtis' biological son for years. Plus, she was involved in that whole mess with Sean and Tommy, which led to Tommy's death. So it's not like Jordan is innocent in the lying and cheating department. Yet, people seem to give her a pass far more than they do Portia. Portia and Curtis go way back, long before Jordan came into the picture. The only reason Curtis cut Portia off was because she was married to Taggart, but the love between them has always been there. Curtis has had his own slip-ups too, like kissing Jordan while he's married to Portia, yet somehow Portia's the one who gets all the blame. Tampering with Heather's test results might have been illegal, but Portia was doing it for a reason most people in Port Charles would understand: protecting her child. Trina is her whole world, and Heather Weber and Esmem made her life a living hell. Heather's a literal killer, and Portia just wants to make sure she stays behind bars where she belongs. Let's not forget, Heather was the hook killer, responsible for the deaths of Britt, Brando, and others. Portia keeping her locked up isn't hurting anyone. It's protecting her daughter and the community. Honestly, who wouldn't do that if it meant keeping their family safe? As for Sonny, he's done way worse to protect his family, and people still love him for it. Carly's pulled some outrageous stunts over the years too, all in the name of protecting her kids. So it's hard to understand why people are so quick to crucify Portia when she's no worse than half the people walking around Port Charles. And don't even get me started on the FBI acting like Cates was some sort of saint. That guy was far from innocent. He bribed people, was coercive, and likely had a hand in more than one dirty scheme. His actions weren't exactly model citizen behavior, so all this posthumous worship from the FBI is a joke. In the grand scheme of things, Portia's actions are pretty tame compared to the chaos others have caused. She doesn't deserve to be singled out when so many others have done worse, often in the name of family, just like her. Liz finds a new man. I hope the spoiler tag worked because I'm posting this from my iPhone on the app, so spoilers ahead for anyone who hasn't caught today's episode yet. Now, I know some fans are all about Liz reuniting with Rick or Lucky, but honestly, I'm not feeling it. After watching today's episode, I'm totally on board with the idea of Liz and the new doctor, Isaiah, as a couple. Sure, they've hinted at testing Jordan and having scenes together, but just think about the possibilities. Imagine if this guy is actually a keeper and doesn't just vanish the moment things start heating up between him and Liz. If Isaiah turns out to be a connection to the One Life to Live universe, we could even see some long-lost family members from Landview visiting. How fun would that be? I'm really excited to see where this could go. It's refreshing to think about new dynamics instead of rehashing old relationships. Liz deserves someone who can truly appreciate her, and Isaiah might just be the breath of fresh air she needs. You're not imagining things. Susan Moore did indeed give birth to Jason Morgan, with Monica Quartermain present for the delivery. This dramatic moment unfolded during the classic era of General Hospital and has become a memorable part of the show's history. Susan's infamous line, "This is Alan's baby," as Monica delivered Jason, definitely left an impression. It was a huge moment that added to the tension between the characters, especially considering the complicated love triangle involving Alan, Monica, and Susan. However, over the years, GH has had a tendency to rewrite or retcon aspects of its history for various reasons, maybe to align with new storylines, or to simplify plot lines for newer viewers. While it's true that Susan returned to Port Charles with one twin, Jason, and the other twin, who we now know as the character who became known as Danny, or the other twin, stayed back with Heather, that detail seems to muddy the waters of the original story. This kind of revisionism happens a lot in soaps, and it can definitely be confusing for longtime fans who remember the original plot points. So yes, you're absolutely right to question this. It's a classic example of how the show can shift its narrative as time goes on. Cyrus's remark definitely has everyone scratching their heads. When he told Martin, "I'm giving our sister a greater gift than you will ever know," it certainly felt ominous and hinted at some deeper, sinister plot. Initially, it seemed like he might be the donor himself, but that would just be too on the nose, right? The theory about him tampering with test results is a real possibility, but you're spot on. If he did that, it could put Lulu's life in jeopardy. That wouldn't be very smart for Cyrus, considering he already has enough enemies without adding Lulu's death to his list of grievances. Now, your thought about him knowing Sam would be the donor and possibly deleting critical information about her health is intriguing. If he has some inside knowledge that donating part of her liver would put her in danger, that would definitely explain the cryptic gift he's alluding to. It would give Cyrus a chance to further his agenda, while also being the savior of sorts, by ensuring that Lulu gets her liver donation, albeit at a terrible cost. It's almost like Cyrus is playing God, thinking he can control the fates of others, which would fit right into his villainous persona. The idea that he's praying for Lulu's safe passage to heaven, while potentially setting her up for disaster, is just chilling. He's got his twisted motivations, and it makes for some gripping drama. Let's just hope the writers don't take this too far. GA's fans have had enough near-death experiences for one lifetime. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.